Yeah, we might leave it there. Spare me a moment. Okay, so hello everybody. How are you? Okay, so I've got my dream guitar. What is it? It's a Gibson 335, 2012 I believe. How did I manage to get it? Well, I did a one-for-one swap. I mean, I did a video recently about, you know, how you end up just like accruing or hoarding guitars. You end up not playing them. Your playing style might change. But the thing is though that, you know, as you end up buying stuff, some of it can actually become quite valuable. So so I did. I mean, I got it about it's about 20 years ago. It's when I got my English degree. You know, I ended up getting like a first-class English degree. So a relative very kindly gave me some money and said, "Oh, get yourself something nice." So yeah, it was, I mean that was what was about summer 2005. So I was, you know, I mean, at the time I was really after like a Les Paul or something like that. I'd really always wanted like a 335, but they were always too expensive. So getting to the point. I mean, I saw this John Petrucci guitar, you know, like one of the Ibanez ones that Petrucci used to play. And I mean, I've actually done a video about this in the past. It was the one with like the black and white one. Now it's not as valuable as like the multicoloured one, but it has gone up in value. So so I was sort of browsing in Fair Deal in Birmingham. I mean, this video's not sponsored by them, but I tend to go in there quite a lot because they're getting a lot of, like, you know, really nice sort of vintage Gibsons and things in there at the moment. And then I saw this one, but they had some other 335s as well. There was a Tobacco Burst one, but I think they sold that like a week or two before I wanted to get this one. Anyway, so I was sort of umming and ahhing about it, and I said, well, I could trade that in. And then, you know, and then they looked on Reverb to see how much that Petrucci was worth, and it was worth quite a bit. So it was, you know, yeah, bring it in, have a look at it, and we'll see what we can do. So I brought it in, and then you know, just went in a little practice room, and it was very nice when you can actually do this. But I had about I had three 335s lined up, which were sort of like in a similar sort of price range, and there was one sort of jazz body guitar as well, which also sounded really good. But this one just stood out. It just, you know, the way, because the way it plays, looks wise as well. But I mean, it's more about like the way it plays and the way it sounds if you're buying a guitar, because I mean, they had like a cherry red 335, but it was all, you know, like sort of like curly maple. It didn't have like the block inlays, but it had like a lot of like curly maple on it and stuff like that. And to be honest, I think they can be a bit pimped out. You know, you know, if you're going for like a higher end guitar, first of all, I think I think you've got to earn it. It's not sort of like, I mean, all right, you know, if you've got the money to burn, yeah, that's one thing. But as a player, I think you need to reach that point where, you know, where you're kind of like, you feel you've earned, you know, the right to play a higher end guitar. I'm going to do another video about this as well. Yeah, the difference, you know, like, the difference between like higher end and really good lower end stuff. But yeah, so this one just stood out, and so it's pretty much, yeah, it was a 1-for-1 swap. So I never really had that kind of opportunity before, but it just meant that, you know, that I could actually just get this, which is kind of my, you know, basically my dream guitar. You know, ever since I, you know, like started playing, you know, all those many eons ago, way back in the Jurassic period. But each time I was sort of, you know, like in the market for one, they kept putting the prices up, you know. Yeah, so I finally been able to get this. I'll turn the amp off so I can. Hey, I'll talk you through like some of the specs and whatnot. So I mean, I believe it's called Iced Tea Burst, but it's kind of faded, so it's going sort of like that. It's almost like Larry Carlton Burst, you know, on his of course, well, on his 335. It does have that sort of red and yellow look about it. Of course, Larry's has got like the block inlays, but that doesn't matter. You know, like I say, it's more about how the thing plays than how it looks. You know, looks can be, well, looks can be deceptive. Let's put it that way. But I mean, that can be a deciding point. You know, if you want a pretty guitar, get a pretty guitar. But if you want one that's functional, but has like a functional aesthetic, you know, that it looks good, but it's not pimped out, then I would say go for something like that. So yeah, rosewood neck, you know, medium jumbo fretboard with the fret nibs done as well. On the back, it's this sort of brownish colour. So it's also like reminding me of like Robin Ford's sort of Riviera. You know, that you know, those sort of it has that sort of vintage look about it. Not sure what these pickups are, but obviously open coil zebra pickups. That makes it stand out a little bit more as well. And I do remember, about 10-15 years ago, I'm not sure, it was probably more like about 10 years ago actually, I remember going in Guitar, it's also in Birmingham, and the only thing that was perhaps a little bit cooler than this one would have been where they had like an amber burst 335 with like white or cream open coil pickups. That looked pretty amazing. But I think I've seen one like it on eBay, but I haven't seen one like it since. So yeah, neck profile. It's sort of in between like a 50s and a 60s, but I like that because it's nice and comfortable. You know, it's not too chunky, but there again, I like a bit of I like a bit more of a chunky neck on a Gibson scale guitar anyway. It's also got like this, it's kind of like this volute here as well, which I think, can you see that? It's sort of like I think that makes a bit of a difference. So I think this should make that neck angle a bit stronger, so it might be less inclined to like, you know, like sort of break there or whatever. Locking Grover tuners, yeah, serial number. Got this from Trogley, that you take the first number and then you count like the fifth number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that fifth number is 2. So it's a 2012 model. I'm not sure what else to say about it apart from, oh yeah, it's got like a historic mount bridge. But like I say, I mean, there was I was looking at like this cherry one, and that was a little bit more expensive than this one was. But then, you know, if like I say, if you're in the market for a higher end guitar, you need to sit down with a few of them. You know, you can be swayed by finishes, etc. But it's more how the thing, like, you know, it's more how it plays and it's more how it sounds, and whether you like kind of bond with it or not as well. You know, and I mean, like, since I've started playing as well, it's one of those guitars where it's what was I saying? Whatever you've got, it will give back, if you know what I mean. So it kind of stops you from overplaying, because if you're putting in if you're putting in too much, then it will show up as being, as sounding too much. But if you scale back on what you're doing, then it's going to sound a lot better, and it's going to improve you as a player. And I can kind of see now why they're saying that like a 335 is probably the all-round guitar to actually get. Plus semi-acoustics as well. I should do a comparison between this and the Midtown I've got. But the semi-acoustics, because I'm used to playing like the violin, you get some of that sort of latency, sort of resonance that you do with a violin as well, which also helps. As I was saying with that thing about like with overplaying and whatnot, it helps rein you in, so that what you are playing, if you are going to come out with like a burst or like a flurry of notes, it will help you like make it count, because you'll be playing it in the right places, etc., etc. So I mean, I could give you a little bit more. I mean, I'm pretty much done now here, but but I'll just get the amp on. Okay, so takes a little bit to warm up this one, but. And of course, I really want to play more chords, and like sort of linking chords with lead lines as well, which is a sort of very Larry Carlton type thing to do. Yeah, so you can go. Yeah. So, let me know what you think. Please comment below. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.